If you're managing your real estate business with sticky notes, a constantly full inbox, and some prayers, you're not alone. But if you're craving the peace of mind that comes with a better organized business, you're in luck. Today, I'm walking through my top 3 favorite online tools for running my real estate business like a business. One of the tools is rental specific, and the other 2 can be used for any type of real estate investing. So let's dive in. Tool number 1 is the rental specific tool, and it's called TenantCloud. This is the property management tool I use to manage 24 rental units in just 2 to 3 hours per week. And I'm able to handle, I would say, 80 to 90% of my applicant and tenant interactions through this portal. I do some of it outside of the portal via email, but most of it is done in TenantCloud, where the tenants also have their own tenant portal to use for their rental. So let's talk through a few of the things that I can do in TenantCloud. First of all, listing units. I'm able to set up every property and every unit in this portal with photos and descriptions and everything, so when it's time to list a unit, it's mostly ready to go. I go in, I do some updates here and there, I make sure I update the rent, and then I put it out there. And TenantCloud will send it out to Zillow, Apartments.com, Realtor, several other sites to start marketing the property for me. It also collects all the leads in one place and allows me to collect their applications. Once I've started collecting applications, I'm also able to screen tenants through TenantCloud. It does most of the work by getting all of their information. They can submit documents, including pay stubs and their driver's license, and it will automatically prompt them to pay for their own background and credit check. You can also do an income verification through TenantCloud, but I still do prefer to send their employer a separate email requesting verification, but you can do it either way. Once a tenant is approved, you can e-sign all your lease documents through TenantCloud as well, and then it houses all of those documents for you. Now, I do save down a copy to my own files just in case, but TenantCloud houses everything for you. I will note that in some of the lower subscriptions, you run out of storage space eventually, so you might have to upgrade eventually to have enough storage space for all those documents. Next up is rent collection. Obviously, this is something that happens every single month, and you want it to be easy and automated. TenantCloud sends out an invoice a few days before the first of the month every month, or whatever date you've agreed to have your rent collected from your tenant. It also automatically adds late fees if your tenant does not pay their rent on time. I allow a 5-day grace period for my tenants, so on the 6th of the month is when those late fees start accruing, and it's automatic. I don't even have to think about it. It's also very easy to go check on TenantCloud, either on my laptop or on the app on my cell phone, on the 5th of the month to see who hasn't paid rent yet. This allows me to send my tenants a courtesy email or text message reminder to hopefully get them to pay rent before those late fees start accruing. And I really can do this from anywhere. I've done it from my couch or from airplanes when I was on trips. It's very easy because of your ability to do all of this through the app on your phone as well. And finally, maintenance requests. I encourage all of my tenants to send all of their maintenance requests or repair requests through TenantCloud rather than a text or phone call or email, because it allows me to track it systematically. When a maintenance request is submitted, I get an email notifying me that something's come in, and then I'm able to go in there, read the details, look at pictures or videos if they've sent it in, and then assign it to a vendor. So I have a couple key vendors who have set up vendor profiles in TenantCloud. It's free for them to do, and I can just assign the task to them. My vendor can then go into the app, message back and forth with the tenant to find a time that works, get the job done, and then go back into the app and mark it as completed. So it really takes a lot off of my plate that a vendor can get in there, communicate with tenants, mark things when they're completed, and make sure that maintenance and repair requests are running smoothly. And again, as I said, all of this can be done either from your laptop or desktop or from a phone app. So you really can manage things on the fly when you need to. I can't tell you how many times I had a maintenance request come in when I was out of town or at my kids' school for some events, and I just assigned it to my vendor and carried on. It took less than 2 minutes. So this is a lot of great functionality, and it really doesn't cost much. There are some really big platforms out there that cost $100 or $200 or $300 per month, but TenantCloud has options for small and mid-sized landlords as well. You could start as low as $15 per month and go all the way up to $100 per month. I personally use the growth subscription, which is for mid to large landlords, and it's only $35 per month or $350 per year if you pay annually. If you're interested in using TenantCloud in your business, check out the description below where we have a link so you can get started. Tool number 2 is Google Workspace. And you can use just regular Gmail, your business name or your name at gmail.com, but I do value the professionalism that comes with a personalized domain through Google Workspace. So I do have my name at mybusinessname.com, and that's how I interact with my tenants and other professionals that I'm working with in the real estate sphere. A few of my favorite ways to use this tool to my advantage. First of all, email templates. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know I love my email templates. templates because you find yourself over time writing the same types of emails again and again. What you can do is optimize that email, maybe use ChatGPT or something along those lines to get your best version of that email written out, and then you save it as an email template that you can use over and over again. You pull up that template, maybe you change who it's written to, change an address or a date in there, and then you send it off in a fraction of the time it would take you to rewrite that email again. As I mentioned, as I was discussing the last tool, TenantCloud, I do most of my tenant communications through the TenantCloud platform, but there are certain things that I want to send as emails to prospective tenants or existing tenants or maybe outgoing tenants. So I have several email templates that I can use again and again. Once you get it set up, it's really easy to keep using them over and over again. I share them with friends all the time, and I'm just such a fan of the time saving that I get from these templates. I also use the Gmail calendar every single day, both the events and the tasks in that calendar. And again, you can do this with calendars across a lot of different types of email accounts, but I do like Gmail because of how intuitive it is and how easy it is to do all of this within the Workspace setting. I'm able to set up recurring events and tasks every single month that I know I have to do over and over again. So on the 5th of every month, I have a reminder to check that all my tenants have paid their rent. On the 30th of every month, I have a reminder to check what leases are going to expire at 60 days from that point, so I know if I need to do a lease renewal email to my tenants. I set things like this up as tasks, so I know on that date that that's something I need to accomplish. I also keep a running list of tasks in my Gmail calendar, and then every day I assign the top 3 tasks I should focus on that day, and the rest of them can kind of shift to the next day or two. Same thing with recurring events in my calendar. I use that primarily for networking events that I host or that I attend every single month to make sure that I'm staying active in the real estate community in my area, I'm continuing to learn, and I'm continuing to network. One final tip I'll give you about using Gmail to your advantage is the snooze function on your emails. A lot of times we find ourselves using our inbox as a to-do list, and that inbox and that to-do list can get pretty long if you're not careful. So I find a good trick is to snooze my emails so that it comes back around to me later when I know I need to check on it. For instance, if I email a tenant 60 days before the end of their lease and say, hey, let me know by this date if you want to renew your lease, then I use the snooze function to have that email pop back into my inbox 30 days before the end of their lease. And if they haven't responded to me, I know that it's now time to follow back up with them. So instead of just having my email inbox grow and grow and grow, I can snooze them. It gets them out of the way for the time being and brings them back when I need to follow up. Again, you can do a lot of these things just with a regular Gmail account, but if you want the professionalism and a few added benefits that you get from the Workspace, it's going to be about $7 per user per month, depending on which plan you get, of course, but that's the plan that I use currently. Again, there's a link in the description below if you want to get started with Google Workspace today. Tool number 3 is QuickBooks Online, and you've probably heard about a whole lot of really cheap online bookkeeping platforms, or maybe you've seen them integrated in property management softwares, but I still prefer QuickBooks Online mainly because most bookkeepers and CPAs know it, understand it, and they can work with you within that platform. If you have just 1 or 2 rental properties, or maybe you're just doing a single flip per year, maybe you don't feel the need to pay for something like QuickBooks Online just yet. But trust me, it will sneak up on you pretty quickly when you start getting busier with your real estate investing business. I had 10 units before I finally made the switch from just an Excel spreadsheet to QuickBooks Online, and it was a little bit of a nightmare getting everything transitioned over. So I do recommend getting started sooner than later. You can start at the very bare minimum subscription, but it really does keep you so much more organized, and your CPA and or bookkeeper will much prefer you use that versus a spreadsheet. Unlike with a spreadsheet or some of the very bare bones online systems, things like QuickBooks Online or other similar types of subscriptions will be able to connect to your credit card and bank accounts. So it automatically pulls in all of the income expenses every single month as long as those things are connected, and then you just have to go in and categorize. So I spend just a couple hours every month doing all my own bookkeeping. I don't have to hire a bookkeeper to do things for me every single month. I just have a CPA look at things periodically and then help me with my taxes every year. And I will tell you, my CPA is always very happy with me because I stay on top of my bookkeeping monthly using QuickBooks Online. Another thing that I love about QuickBooks Online is that you can use classes to break down your income and expenses by property. So whether it's different rental properties or different flips or wholesales that you're doing, you can assign a class to each project, and then you can run your numbers based on that particular class. So if I want to see what my portfolio as a whole is doing, I can pull the profit and loss for the entire portfolio. If I want to see what that one property in Dogtown is doing for me, I can pull it by that class and see how that one is running compared to others in my rental portfolio. So I have a very clear picture every month month and every year of how my portfolio is running overall and property by property. And that's very powerful because you need to know if your properties are doing what you need them to do for your business and for your life. As with all of the other tools that we talked about today, there are varying subscriptions that you can use with QuickBooks Online, starting at $38 per month all the way up to $275 per month. I'm currently at the plan that costs $115 per month, and it is well worth it for my business. Again, link in the description below if you're interested. All right, that's it for today. I hope this video gave at least one new tool or maybe a tip for a tool you're already using that will help you in your real estate business. Remember, you don't have to have everything set up perfectly at first. You just need to get started. And every step you take, every tool you implement in your business over time will build and build into better organization and peace of mind in your real estate business. As always, let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or if there's something else you'd like to learn related to this topic. And if it was helpful, please like this video, share it with a friend, subscribe for future videos, but most importantly, keep learning, keep growing, and have fun.